what you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show.
Are we live? Are we live, everyone? Are we live? Well, we got a great show today for you, Shady Groove. Welcome. What we've got is Kash Patel was on Hannity and Pam Bondi. I don't want to say it like the trolls. They were awesome yesterday. We're going to check those two interviews out. Amazing. Donald Trump is on his way to visit Putin in Alaska. He just released 16 Belarusian they're political prisoners, and there's 5,000 in total, but there's another 1,600 or something like that to go. He's on his way to meet Putin, Shady Groove. Wow.
Yeah, this is a this is a historic moment. You know, it kind of makes me think back, Jeff. I think that you would remember this too. Remember whenever Reagan met Gorbachev, way back whenever we were young? It's like, thinking back to that era of the time. And also what I do is I'm thinking now, like let's take a glimpse of the current situation we're in and the way that these psychological operations are working against you. And now let's take that and let's put that overview and put it in the context of the Cold War. Let's put it in the context of like what the fear was that was put into us as we were all kids. Isn't it interesting how we maneuver our lives and live around the fear that the establishment gave us, as opposed to being Americans and leading with our resolve and leading with our faith and not being afraid of the extra whatever circumstances? Think about that for a second. We are now in a situation, Jeff, and I said it this morning. I was like, I'm not sure that we deserve this guy because he's continually doing what it is that's good for the country. Yeah. And somebody said it yesterday, but he's doing it for everybody, whether you like it or not.
That's right. That's right. Wow. Dux, thank you so much. $5. Oh wait, that's Real Iron Eagle. $5. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you, Dux. One subscription. And Dux, it's a good day to be alive and watching the MG Show. Boom. $100 Rumble rant. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Shady, I'm going to go right out of the gate with this. Ready?
I'm ready.
Yeti, you ready? Yeti, you ready? Here we go. Coming your way right now. Set your clocks, mark your calendars, and buckle up for the best NFL primetime football action, guys. I mean, this is huge. Starting September 4th on Westwood 1, you can catch all the bone-crushing hits, last-second heroics, and edge-of-your-seat action that the NFL Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights have to offer. Whether you're tailgating, driving, or chilling at home, don't miss a single snap. Listen to the NFL app on Westwood One Sports app at westwoodonesports.com, or just say ALEXA. Open Westwood One Sports. If it's NFL, it's on Westwood One.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank everybody here for the journey that we've all been on. This is a whole interesting, if you haven't noticed, we aren't any longer doing the 5 minutes where we come in and introduce, and then we have a 5-minute block of commercials. We've been kind of freed up from that with this whole new system that we're using. So it's kind of cool, we appreciate Rumble, and we appreciate all of you, by the way. We appreciate all of you because you are the one that keeps this show on the air. Whenever you see anybody attack us and say, oh, well, who pays you? You should be out there on social media saying, I do, and be supporting this show and standing beside us, because let me tell you something, we are leading people out of the darkness. That's what we're doing here at the MG Show. We are showing you that the world of doom and gloom, you could go be a part of the world of doom and gloom if you would like, but we are not a part of that world. We are living in the golden age here at the MG Show. We are moving forward into the economy that's going to grow probably by 20 to 25% in the next year and a half to 2 years. And all of these economic people out there who think that they're smarter than everybody else in the room are going to all be wrong. And the person who's going to turn out to be the smartest person in the room is going to turn out to be Donald Trump. I don't care what any of these people say. You can bet the house on it.
Wait, you mean General Flynn renting an office in D.C. because he's the only one that knows about the deep state? Because that's why he's not in Donald Trump's administration?
Means nothing.
Means nothing, guys. Means nothing. All right, so let's go ahead and go to President Trump gaggle as he was taking off for on Air Force One. This was this morning, and he talks about what we should expect. You ready?
Yep.
Do this. Oh, and by the way, on the second hour, we're going to actually tell you the story of the Federal Reserve, the actual story, the true story of the Federal Reserve. So please get your Rumble Premium today. If you can, you're not going to want to miss this one. This is the big one, Shady.
Yeah, this is a big one.
All right, here we go. This is Donald J. Trump gaggling with the press on Air Force One this morning.
They're buying our weapons, and we're sending them to NATO, and NATO's sending us big, beautiful checks. But that I don't care about that. I care about, it was a big factor when Biden spent $350 billion and got nothing. But what I do care about is they lost last week, 7,011 people were lost, almost all soldiers. 36 people in a town which got hit by a missile, but over 7,000 soldiers. It's crazy.
Can you describe a little bit, Mr. President, because I know you've had a lot of phone calls with President Putin. What's the difference in a face-to-face, in-person meeting?
Look, he's a smart guy, been doing it for a long time, but so have I. Been doing it for a long time. And here we are, we're president. That was much more difficult than what I'm doing today, believe me. So we get along. There's a good respect level on both sides, and I think, something's going to come of it. I noticed he's bringing a lot of business people from Russia, and that's good. I like that because they want to do business, but they're not doing business until we get the war settled.
Are you going to talk about business? Will you talk
business? We have the hottest country on earth. We have the hottest economy on earth. We have the hottest country. We just set a new stock market record again. We have hundreds of billions of dollars flowing in from tariffs. We're the hottest country. We were a dead country, like doornails, a dead country. 1 year ago, we were dead as a doornail, and now we have the hottest country. And he wants a piece of that because his country is not hot economically. In fact, it's the opposite. And China's not doing well economically, but look, I want everybody to do well. The war's got to stop and the killing's got to stop.
Mr. President, what do you stop? Thank you for coming back to take questions. We saw that Russia continued its violence into Ukraine last night, launching even more drones. What did you make of that?
I think they're trying to negotiate. He's trying to set a stage. I mean, in his mind, that helps him make a better deal. It actually hurts him. But in his mind, that helps him make a better deal if they can continue the killing. Maybe it's a part of the world. Maybe it's just his fabric, his genes, his genetics. But he thinks that makes him, gives him strength in negotiating. I think it hurts him, but I'll be talking to him about it later.
It's on the table for discussions today, Mr. President. Are the territorial swaps on the table? Will you be discussing that?
They'll be discussed, but I've got to let Ukraine make that decision. And I think they'll make a proper decision. But I'm not here to negotiate for Ukraine. I'm here to get them at a table and I think you have two sides. Look, Vladimir Putin wanted to take all of Ukraine. If I wasn't president, he would right now be taking all of Ukraine. But he's not going to do it.
Mr. President, what did you mean?
Just one thing. What about the possibility of the United States providing security guarantees to Ukraine?
Maybe. Along with Europe and other countries. Not in the form of NATO, because that's not going to, there are certain things that aren't going to happen. But yeah, along with Europe, there's possibility of that.
Mr. President, mentioning the number of business people that President Putin is bringing along, is that something that you want to discuss with President Putin at this meeting?
If we make progress, I would discuss it, because that's one of the things that they would like. They'd like to get a piece of what I built in terms of the economy. Just so you know, we were a dead country with our economy. He wouldn't be interested. He wouldn't have been interested a year ago with the Biden economy. But he is interested in the Trump economy, because wait till you see when those factories start opening up. We have hundreds of factories all over the country, and that includes auto factories, AI factories, and every other. They're all coming in because they want to beat the tariffs. Because if they open here, they don't have to pay tariffs. If they don't open here, they have to pay, in some cases, 200%, 300%. I haven't even set some of the tariffs yet. I'll be setting tariffs next week and the week after on steel and on, I would say, chips.
So, by the way, General Flynn made a comment about the drones, and looks like President Trump exactly is opposite of what General Flynn thinks, Shady. Did you notice that?
I absolutely noticed that, and I had a feeling that might be the case, because he's like, General Flynn always has a piping hot take right out of the gate, and it's 99.97% wrong.
Yeah, and it's this guy's such a scumbag.
I mean,
guys.
it's great. No, actually, it's a great metric. I'm using it to I'm using it to bet with. I'm killing it out there.
It's like no new taxes. Taxes are going to raise.
All you got to do is hedge.
And
Flynn.
whatever the Flynn guy says, just do the opposite.
The exact opposite. I'm rolling in it now. I'm like, no, I'm not worried about finances.
Here we go.
Chips and semiconductors we'll be setting sometime next week after.
What rate are you looking at? What rate?
I'm going to have a rate that is going to be lower at the beginning. Then that gives them a chance to come in and build, and very high after a certain period of time. And if they don't build here, they have to pay a very high tariff, which doesn't work, so they'll come and build.
Mr. President, hi. You had said earlier.
That with me.
Isn't he a gentleman? He's a nice.
He's helping me out.
He's a very nice. He's one of the few nice ones, actually.
You had said earlier this week that Putin would face severe consequences if you get the sense from him that he's not interested. What do you mean by that?
Economically severe. Yes, it will be very severe. I'm not doing this for my health, okay? I don't need it. I'd like to focus on our country, but I'm doing this to save a lot of lives. Yeah, very severe. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hey, one thing.
There he is. There's your President Donald J. Trump. KFrost426. Pre-order for a Shady Rant. Happy Friday. Thank you so much. Midnight's Watch says, here's some wood chips with love, $20. Thank you, Pastor Chatelet. We had some naked people, and Pastor Chatelet took care of them. And by the way, Shady, I was going through my meme folder, and I found Pastor Chatelet's meme. Do you remember Pastor Chatelet's meme?
I think I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. Let me see. Here it comes. Oh, it's going to be over here. Sorry about that.
No, it's going to be over here. You bring it there that way.
There it is. Nice meme. Because we used to call him a slider. Remember that?
He used to love to slide against us on YouTube.
There's Pastor Chatelet just cruising along. Nice meme.
Come on, Pastor. Give us a little hat tip. Let's give 17 out there to Pastor Chatelet, who was like, I think he was our first lovable troll.
Yeah,
he really was, and he stuck with us too, man. God love you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
That dude is still emailing us, by the way, in case he went to.
Yeah, and that's the meme now that I just posted in the chat. The guy sliding by that replaced this meme right here.
He's our very own Pastor Chatelet now.
Yeah, we love him. Also, this is K Frost. Thank you. We got that. 17s. Look at them all rolling for you, Pastor Chatelet.
Look at that, buddy. Look at this family.
He's remember when we put him in Gitmo?
Yeah, we did.
And he was such a good dude. He stayed there, and then we said, "Like, all right, let's go talk to him," and we worked it out because he actually is a great guy, you know.
Yes,
and,
he is. And it was at the same time that Clinton and all those other people were in Gitmo, you know.
And you know, it was the same. Yeah, with their masks. But you know what it was? It was like that was during the heat of all the beginning attacks where we didn't even understand where they were coming from. So, thank you, Pastor Shadowley. We love you, man.
Because, well, actually, you know, so many people, you know, like a credit to him, he saw exactly what they were doing to us. Eventually, like, you know, eventually you see it. Eventually people see what is being done and that it's absolutely ridiculous. And like, you know, it's like we had to, I don't have anything against any of these people. They have a problem with me.
No, Shadowley, you were sliding. He's like, I wasn't sliding. I was posting memes.
That's a slide.
That's a slide right there. I rest my case.
He just slid it again. He's like proving a point here.
Yeah,
we might be the bait. I'm not sure whose the bait is.
Oh my God, he's the master.
Here we go.
All right, so here we go. We got Bondi issues a stern warning last night on Hannity. Oh, I know it's Hannity. We hate John Hannity.
No,
Save
I love
it.
this.
All right,
This
save
is
it.
good.
Save your I hate Sean Hannity, please, this time. I mean, because we're watching
Somebody
Pam
will post
Bondi.
it.
I know.
Someone will post that they hate Sean Hannity. I guarantee it. There's no way it won't happen. Or we're going to bet on that. I'm on Polymarket right now.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, this is just breaking. This letter
Sean
that
Hannity.
you
Thank
have
you,
signed
Yeti.
and now apparently sent out.
Infiltrator.
I know this has happened in our nation's capital, and I guess the police chief or the mayor or somebody there, you know, had been telling police officers, the Metropolitan Police Department there, not to give up people that are in the country illegally. I thought we had a supremacy clause in the Constitution.
Sean, D.C. will not remain a sanctuary city actively shielding criminal aliens. Will not happen. Under Donald Trump's directive, D.C. will become safe again, and it will become clean again. And I think what's happening is it's a combination of an extremely divisive city council. You have liberal judges, you have no cash bail, as you said, you have juveniles running rampant over this city, and you have a Metro Police Department. They want to do their jobs. And we have been out there for the last few nights with all of our federal agencies, Sean. They have been working so hard, working together. We've made 156 arrests, 27 firearms have been seized. Child pornographic material has been seized, over 200 fentanyl pills taken off the street, a homicide suspect with a firearm, and we are going to protect D.C. and make it safe again. But, you know, I think the most impactful thing that's happened, despite what we've seen with these crazy protesters out there, citizens are coming out of their homes and they're going up to these law enforcement officers and they're thanking them for keeping them safe and making the streets safe again. An elderly woman walks up to law enforcement and thanks them so she can go to the market again. So they are seeing the impact of what our law enforcement officers are doing under Donald Trump's directive, and they're going to continue to do it. We're going to work hand in hand with state, federal, local officers, and we're going to make D.C. safe again.
Fundamentally, when you have a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state, aren't you, by definition, aiding and abetting in the law breaking? Mm-hmm. And if you are protecting them and not allowing, even though the federal government would have jurisdiction constitutionally, are you aiding and abetting? Are these politicians that are purposely hiding illegal immigrants or not informing or working with ICE, are they themselves guilty of crimes?
Well, and what they're trying to do, they're trying to protect criminal aliens. And what's going to happen if we keep this up? Criminals are going to flee to D.C., and we're not going to let that happen. And that's why, at my directive, we have made Terry Cole now the commissioner over the police. We have made Gaddy Serralto my U.S. Marshal. He runs the entire show, keeping everyone organized, and they report directly to me, and I report to the President of the United States. So yes, you must comply. You must give the information to our ICE, to our Homeland Security officers. If they have information of an illegal alien living in D.C., they must give us that information. And we are going to stop crime, Sean, in D.C., and we're going to clean it up in this country. And President Trump is committed to that. No longer is that going to happen in this beautiful city where our tourists come, where our residents live. We all live here. We are going to keep it safe. And it's our nation's capital. It's beautiful, and it's going to be beautiful and clean again.
You know, I love the people in the chat saying we need arrests. You know, Q told us that the arrest would happen bottom to top. We are seeing arrests, and it's called by the book. Your strategy doesn't work with our audience. And, you know, Q even says those that are screaming now, now, now. And it is a good time. Good, it's about time, MAGA. You know, we are. Those people that you're seeing arrested work for the Biden administration. These people that are gang members and the child traffickers, these work for the deep state. These are arrests. There's no doubt about it in my mind.
And a real investigation goes up chain from any arrest, because any person that has been arrested usually has a puppeteer.
Wow. Back to our beautiful AG Pam Bondi.
Amazingly strong attorney general. Probably the strongest attorney general we've ever had.
Yeah. And, you know, she's going to talk about grand juries, too, guys. That's also Q proofs, okay? It must be done right. Equal justice under the law.
They will not escape this.
Okay, let's focus and dial in. So, D.C., sanctuary city, L.A., sanctuary city, San Francisco, sanctuary city, New York City, sanctuary city, California, sanctuary state. What does this mean in reality for all of these locations, municipalities, states moving forward?
They must comply. Yesterday, I sent out 33 letters to mayors around this country. I think 3 or 4 of them were in California alone, not surprising. I sent out letters to all of these mayors and to the governors saying, you must comply. We want to know what you're doing to comply with our federal government. So we're going to see, I'll let you know how they respond. They have 5 days to respond to me.
Okay, let me move on. And I want to ask you about this incident where
Pause that, please. I want you to understand. I want you to understand the gravity of what she's talking about right there. You know, you guys want to talk about all this nonsense that has nothing really to do with anything. This means something to everybody. Okay, it doesn't matter. You got your grandma that's in downtown Baltimore. You've got your friend that lives in Minneapolis. You've got your buddy that goes back and forth to work in LA. All of these cities are absolute, like, you are rolling the dice, my friends. You don't think I'm lying? I live on the West Coast. You cross a city limit line to go into LA. You are rolling the dice, buddy. Let me tell you right now. You say I'm going to go to Portland to get a sandwich. You are rolling the dice. You know what that means? That means that you might not come out of there. I'm not joking. You don't understand how dangerous these places are. And the reality is that these places are dangerous because law enforcement is derelict in their duty, and they're inept because top to bottom structure is telling them to stand down and to ignore crime and to ignore criminals. And if I'm a criminal and I get ignored doing a crime, you know what I do the next day? More crime. If I'm a criminal and I see somebody get prosecuted for a crime, you know what I do the next day? Less crime. This is what Attorney General Pam Bondi is doing that no other Attorney General has had the backbone to do. They don't have the backbone to stand up to the sanctuary city. They don't have the backbone to stand up to these nut job mayors and police chiefs. And they don't have the backbone to prosecute these people when they do stuff wrong. I believe that what she said right there tells us everything that we need to know about the idea of one day, possibly, all of us, whether you've got pink hair, you don't know what gender you are, or you're MAGA, can cross that city limit line and feel like we're all safe within that city.
Yeah. And, you know, again, Q talks about you do it now, people. Okay? For those saying do it now, we want it now, it has to be done right, guys. I mean, you know, I thought you followed Q. You know, and you know, this every day, this show has been a Q-proof too, Shady Groove. Every day, every single flipping day, we have Q-proofs because the last 4 years of Biden, you know, they tried to bury us, guys. Even MAGA tried to bury us, guys.
Didn't work because of you.
Didn't work. We're still here.
And we're growing, which really makes them upset.
Yes. Thank you, Westwood One. All right, here we go.
DOJ employee charged with felony assault after hitting this federal agent with this Subway sandwich. May not sound like a big threat. What a lot of people may not be thinking of, an agent being assaulted like that, they have no idea what is being hurled at them. And this is now going to be charged as a felony. What message is the Department of Justice now sending people that are attacking agents this way? And what do you say to the people that are tipping off illegal immigrants?
Well, we're coming after you. We've made that very clear. And that guy worked for the Department of Justice. Unbelievable. He came into our office every day, walked by law enforcement officers, worked in the criminal division. That's the deep state that we have been up against. Worked in our office, yet at night, he went out and did that. No longer. He's now a felon, charged with a felony, and he's fired from the Department of Justice. If you touch a law enforcement officer, if you spit on a law enforcement officer, if you batter a law enforcement officer, we are coming after you. No longer will you abuse the great men and women of law enforcement. We're going to stand by you, we're going to stand with you, and we're going to protect you.
You know, I know you can't talk about very specific legal action that may be underway or a grand jury that may be.
All right, so this is Q-proof, guys, okay? You're going to hear a Q-proof right now. We're talking about the grand juries, okay? Listen to Pam Bondi's answer. It's huge, okay? Ready, Shady?
I am.
Impaneled, but we are reading that, in fact, a lot of the information that Tulsi Gabbard has been able to share with the public and make public, and the same with John Ratcliffe, that in fact there are people that purposely, my interpretation of it, seemingly trying to sabotage. I'll give you one example, the Russia hoax. We had a career senior intelligence assessment of the 2016 election. Then there was an order to go out and get another one because they didn't like the result of the first one. We know that the Hillary Clinton bought and paid for Russian disinformation dossier was used for not one but 4 FISA warrants, and yet they knew very early on that it was debunked and not true. If you lie to a FISA court, as a matter of law, don't you have an obligation to go back and tell the court as soon as you know that information you provided that court was inaccurate and not true?
Yeah, Sean, I can't confirm or deny whether we have a grand jury, an open investigation on anyone, but the weaponization of our government has ended. And Tulsi Gabbard, John Ratcliffe, Kash Patel, they're doing a great job. And no one in this country is above the law.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right, attorney.
All right, so no one in this country is above the law. Grand jury. I'm sure Q never talked about anything about FISA courts and grand jury, did he, Shady?
Yes, they did.
Oh man, I tell you, I don't think this is a pesky Q-proof, is it? I mean, come on, this can't be a pesky Q-proof, Shady, could it?
It is.
All right, so here we go. Pesky Q-proof. No one is above the law in grand jury 8/15/2025. We just heard no one is above the law and grand juries are being formed, ? And she cannot answer that because probably they are. And adding that the weaponization of our government is over. On 1/6/2019, post 2662, the treachery revealed by Comey, Clapper, and Brennan requires accountability. That can only happen through a federal grand jury investigation it's probably headed up by somebody else, but at that time it would have been Huber, the U.S. attorney in Utah who has been appointed by appointed to investigate FISA criminality by the Obama FBI and DOJ. Q post 3740 on 12/22/19. Do people really think this can happen with no consequences? FISA equals start. Nobody is above the law anymore. Almost word for word, Shady.
It pretty much is word for word, I think. And let's temper that. Let's acknowledge that, and then let's bring it back to like what it means to be an American. What does it mean to be an American? Let me tell you what it means to be an American. What it means to be an American is that you sit there in that seat and you say that anybody that they put to this grand jury is innocent. They're innocent. I want to tell you that. All these people that you guys think, Clapper, Comey, all these people, they are all innocent until they are convicted of something by a jury of their peers. You have to understand that. You all have to understand the system protects them the way that it protects you. And I'm sorry to say, I know a lot of people don't like hearing, oh, Shady, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's what I fight for. Hang on. I fight for America, and I fight for by the book. And what you're seeing right here, right now, this is what I want. If you say, what do I want? What am I impatient for? I am impatient, and I want a grand jury to see the evidence against the people. That's it. That's all that I want. What the grand jury decides from there is something that I'm going to be okay with if they decide to prosecute or if they decide to not prosecute. If you were a proper American, every single one of us would feel that way about any person that gets sucked into this system, because the American way is to protect each of us from the system. That's what the whole thing is supposed to do. It's not just like, oh, pick and choose who you throw in the meat grinder and let's just see what happens.
Yeah. We played John Solomon yesterday, veteran, and he talked about the grand juries as well. We get it. But we have Q because we already knew.
We've been watching it.
What Shady was talking about, just like Epstein Island, you guys want to go arrest people for what? Okay. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were in fact arrested. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So do you have a victim for Bill Clinton at the island?
No one's coming forth to be a victim and to claim that they're a victim so that they can.
So then how can you arrest them?
You can't.
Right. As much as I want to. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys, but you guys need to start thinking with your minds, not General Flynn's psyops.
Think like you're an American. Don't think like you're some vigilante out there with a pitchfork. If you're thinking like you have a pitchfork, you're the people in Charlottesville. You're the Antifa. You're the BLM. You're the Enriques. You're the Proud Boys on J6 people that were marauding over the Capitol. Those are the vigilantes. I'm not a vigilante. I'm separate from all of those people. They say, oh, you're dividing MAGA. Yeah, because MAGA is not violent. MAGA does not believe that you should just crush someone because they're someone. MAGA believes in the rule of law. MAGA believes that you are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law by a jury of your peers.
Yep.
That's what MAGA is. That's what MAGA believes, whether you like it or not.
Shady, can I get a oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
Because the land of hoy, oh yeah. 17 plus 17 double portion Q for the MG show. This is all for the Flintards lurking in the chat. We know you're here. Cry more, losers. Thank you for the $34 Rumble rant. I love it. All right. So now we're going to go to Kash Patel. Name to remember, Shady Groove.
He's got me fired up too.
Yeah. And here we go. He was blown away. He really wasn't blown away because he knew. We knew. You knew because of Q and his, let me just get it, his government gangsters book that they were so afraid of. Wow. And wow, let's see about this book, Shady. Is there anything cool about this book that happened? Boom. To Jeffrey. Love the MG show. Where we go, when we go all. This is your FBI director, Shady. How awesome is that?
Yeah. Well, it's very awesome whenever you start to see what he's talking about right now, because what he's talking about right now is evidence. See,
evidence.
Whenever you find evidence, you know what you could do with evidence? You could create investigations and you can actually substantiate claims, and then you could potentially submit the evidence to a grand jury.
Yeah. And I get it. Like, Annon's new for so long now. And that's why a lot of us are impatient. But check yourself before you wreck yourself.
I'm telling you right now, man, I signed up for every ounce of this. Whenever I want them shredded. I don't want them I want them shredded in the court of public opinion. I'm not so interested in them being prosecuted or imprisoned. I want their credibility shredded in the court of public opinion. And that includes people like Alex Jones. Are you guys noticing how the Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, General Flynn cult stuff is in your feed 24/7 on Twitter? There's a reason for that.
Yep. And it's fake fights. I think they're fake clown fights. Just like the
fake.
Badlands, We the Media fight. I think that's a fake clown fight too. And they brought us into it. Did you see that, Shady?
I saw that. Yeah. They didn't have to bring us into it. We wrecked it.
Yeah, we wrecked it on behest of this guy that we're going to play right now on Hannity.
The FBI director said wreck it, so we wrecked it.
The FBI director said wreck We the Media, and guess what we did?
We wrecked it. Get that clip, Jordan Sather.
Yeah, get that clip. Wow. And my book says love the MG show. Does yours say love Jordan Sather's stupid show?
No, I didn't hear that one, Chip.
Oh, I'm sure Kash Patel loved Devolution.
No, Kash Patel said off the table, and I think the words were, "This guy's a moron."
Off. Yeah, the guy's a moron. Yep. All right, so here we go. This is Kash Patel, name to remember. And I was on CNN, and I think I did pretty good for him. Don't you think
You're
so?
better than good.
Thank you so much. See you guys here. Let's see this.
Had been swept under the rug at the FBI. But for everything that you see and hear on the news, there is so much more happening behind the scenes at the FBI.
Do not mistake inaction or silence for inaction, guys. There is a lot happening behind the scenes, a lot, and you're not seeing it, okay? Just know this. Ready, Shady?
I am.
Director Kash Patel is working around the clock with Dan Bongino and others and other agents. Not only are they dealing with the crime crisis left behind by Joe Biden and unvetted illegals, 12 to 20 million of them, but also peeling back the layers of what has been what we have reported as a deeply politicized, weaponized federal bureaucracy. For example, Kash Patel, the FBI director, recently uncovered thousands and thousands of Russia hoax documents inside these burn bags in a secret room at the FBI. The director also discovered official allegations from a Democratic staffer who accused Adam Schiff of orchestrating leaks of classified intelligence in order to hurt President Trump. Those allegations had been swept under the rug at the FBI until now. And that's not all. According to a bombshell report from JustTheNews.com founder, editor-in-chief John Solomon, James Comey also accused of routinely leaking classified information to the New York Times through a friend, a professor at Columbia University. Just the tip of the iceberg. Anyway, here with the very latest, FBI Director Kash Patel. Kash, great to have you. Let's start with the burn room. Now, your knowledge of this issue runs wide and it runs deep because you were working with Devin Nunes at the time. I believe you were his chief of staff. You know a lot about this topic. Were you as surprised as I was that all of that information in that burn room existed?
Sean, I was blown away, but sadly, it's come to be expected in this town when corrupt bureaucrats weaponize and destroy law enforcement like predecessors of mine did at the FBI. And thankfully, Donald Trump's mandate and election victory was for transparency and accountability. Sean, just think about this for a second. Not only did we expose the Russiagate hoax with the greats like Devin and Trey and Johnny Ratcliffe when we were back there in the House Intel Committee excavating and exposing the FISA abuses, the corruption of political parties, and the lies to a federal court just to illegally surveil a presidential candidate. I come in then years later, nearly a decade as a director of the FBI, thinking we uncovered most of it. But sadly, we found a room locked away in the Hoover building that contained burn bags. And just for your audience, Sean, a burn bag is a government bag that is specifically created to destroy classified evidence and shred and burn it, hence the name burn bag. We didn't find one, we found 7. That wasn't the only thing we found in there. We found hard drives from our predecessors and prior FBI leadership. And
now this is evidence, guys, like what Shady was talking about before. This is what we needed, okay?
Yeah, Jeff, that's interesting too, like to listen to this again today. I'm even picking up a little bit more. Why did they leave it?
Yeah.
How, like, so if you're so this makes me think of like this makes me think that the burn bags are actually preservations of evidence, not necessarily something that they were going to destroy. Like somebody put that stuff in there so that we would find it later, bro. That like this is like,
well, remember
why would the FBI destroy the burn bag?
Remember that post about the black eye? A black eye is a white hat in a black hat organization.
Correct.
Very interesting.
And so let's say that you are a white hat and you're tasked with going out and getting rid of all these burn bags, and instead someone shows you a room where you put all those burn bags, only to one day tell Kash, like, hey, all that evidence with McCabe and Strzok and Page, just Glenn Simpson and all that, it's right over here.
And press 17 if you like Kash Patel's candy cane tie. I love it.
It is cool. I actually complimented him on that last night too.
Here we go.
You noticed that,
folks. Like Page, Strzok, Comey, McCabe, Comey, the list goes on.
We've never heard of those names, have we, guys? I mean, Q's never talked about any of that. It was only about JFK Jr. being alive, right? And masks and pedophiles. That's all it was about, right?
Nope.
It wasn't follow the money. It was follow the adrenochrome, right?
I thought it was follow the wives, follow the money, follow the bloodlines.
Love it.
Not from Russiagate. The names were strewn all over.
It was follow Flynn, right?
Yeah, follow Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Back up, candy cane tie. Here we go.
Goes on from Russiagate. The names were strewn all over these materials. Now, as our great Attorney General just told you, we can't deny or confirm what we're looking at, but what we can discuss is what we've publicly disclosed. And these documents have been publicly disclosed because the greatest way to educate and bring along the American public for transparency, initiative, and accountability under President Trump is to give them the documents. And step 1 is by cleaning house inside the walls of Hoover.
Wait, we've never heard we have to clean house in the FBI, did we? Have we ever heard that? Is that like
floors no more?
Is that like a rolling Q proof as well? I mean, pesky, Shady. These Q proofs.
It looks like the people that cleaned up the 7th floor stacked all the evidence in this room.
I love it. 7th floor, no
Who would
more.
do that?
A white hat and a black hat organization? Question mark. Wow. And we have it always posted 13 times by Q, and even the hard drives and the servers. Actually, the servers. Wow. We have it all, Shady.
they have it coming.
pesky Q proofs, guys. I'm telling you, these are pesky. Back to Kash Patel, name to remember.
Okay, well, one of the important things you got to remember is that that's the FBI's job. You gather the evidence, and then it is examined, in this case, by the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. And, but there's been a lot of talk and a lot written about the
Wait a second. Remember Q telling us FBI's job is to investigate, DOJ's job is prosecute? That's a Q proof, too. But we already knew that. What is Sean Hannity reading Q posts for questions?
Yeah, must be.
Investigation into a grand conspiracy. To the extent possible, what can you tell us about that? In other words, that this is long-standing. If it is, in fact, a grand conspiracy, the statute of limitations would be eliminated. Is that what the investigation is about?
Well, Sean, what we're doing is building a case for the American public under the Truth and Transparency and Accountability Initiative. And what I mean by that is AG Bondi brilliantly highlighted our partners, Director Ratcliffe at the CIA and Director Gabbard over at the DNI. We are working with them because the documents that would facilitate an investigation of this magnitude don't just rest at the FBI and DOJ. They're throughout the intelligence community. And we, the Russiagate guys like Johnny Ratcliffe and myself who investigated this and exposed this, are trying to expose documentation that we've known existed for years. At the same time, we're finding new material. So the best approach is to release this information with them and also go to our colleagues in Congress who have an oversight function on the judiciary committees and oversight committees and demand from us information and documentation that we can publicize. Things like the Durham Annex, which we've known have existed this entire time, but were classified for political reasons. We are educating the American public as we build through this transparency initiative. And where the investigation goes, I can assure you of this. We will max accountability for the American public. We delivered before when we ran the Russiagate investigation. I now happen to be President Trump's choice for FBI director, and I'm honored to lead that charge with our great partners in Johnny Ratcliffe and our great Attorney General and the prosecutors they have over there who are just as committed to justice as everyone should be, blindly so. We are going to de-weaponize the FBI and get its credibility back to the American people by delivering the accountability they need, by showing them what we're doing every step of the way. That has never been done before.
So wait a second. You're saying that he's saying transparency? That wasn't Q proofs, was it?
Yes,
I mean,
it was.
transparency? Why is this happening? Why is this like, how come we're right now, Shady? This is really weird to me. I mean, they censored us so bad, Shady.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Back to Kash. Wow.
Restoring the FBI to its former greatness. That would be the words I would use to describe what needs to be done and I hope can be done. If we look at the declassified materials, for example, that Tulsi Gabbard released, we already had an intelligence
28 posts with transparency, and he's talking about D-class now, and we're talking. This is just a living Q. This whole interview is a Q proof
assessment as on the question of whether or not Donald Trump colluded with Vladimir Putin. Here I am in Alaska. They will have a summit tomorrow, and in fact, the conclusion of senior career intelligence officials was it did not happen. There's no evidence at all that it happened. Then the report suggests that Barack Obama himself, along with his top intel officials, that would probably be people like Brennan and Clapper and maybe some others, decided to do a new intelligence assessment because they didn't like the old one. And they got a narrative that moved forward. But yet also they added something, and I believe it was John Brennan that said they did not do this, but then they used the Hillary Clinton bought and paid for Russian disinformation dossier. That was also used by James Comey for the FISA applications. He signed 3 of the 4. He was warned in August of 2016 not to use it. And then we knew definitively by December of 2016 that, in fact, that dossier had been debunked and that Christopher Steele wasn't credible. So the question is a timeline. When you add that to the 2020 election and the fact that by March of 2020, they knew Hunter's laptop, they had verified its authenticity and that it was real, and then they're pre-bunking it by meeting weekly with big tech companies. And then when it gets dropped, which they knew would happen because of Rudy Giuliani's attorney, they knew Bob Costello had a copy. Are they putting cinder blocks on the scales of elections? Was weaponization from 2020 to 2024 designed to bloody up Trump? In other words, do we have 3 presidential elections, potentially, that cinder blocks were put on the scales of the election so the results would come out the way one team wanted it to come out? The team in power.
Here's the beauty of it, Sean. You don't have to trust me or trust you. That's all. Everything you recited, the summary you just gave, is years of excavating documents that these deep state actors held and buried and documented their own corruption because they were arrogant enough to think no one would ever find it, that Donald Trump would never become president and appoint a cabinet that would go in and investigate this matter thoroughly. And when you start connecting the dots, here's what I learned, Sean, when I ran the Russiagate investigation. As bad as the crime is, the corruption cover-up from senior government officials who are sworn to uphold their duties and accountability for the American public, they are the ones that violated that trust the most internally and need to be held accountable. So the people you've listed and the names you're calling out aren't surprises. Their names are on those documents. Those documents are public. The FISA is public. The 302s are public. The Strzok page texts are public. Documents are being released weekly by Johnny Ratcliffe and Tulsi, making it public. The burn bag information is coming out. The Durham Annex is coming out. The classified appendix is coming out. The American people are going to see and hear the names themselves, and they can touch and feel it. As far as what my investigators are going to do, these guys are the best in the business, and we've assembled a team of accountability, and we're going to deliver for the American people like never before, because that's what the American people elected Donald Trump to do.
That's exactly
Kash Patel,
it.
this is transparency the American people deserve. I know it takes a lot of time. Look, they spent 2 years to bring charges against President Trump.
All right. Yeah. So, wow. Okay. Shady Groove, real quick. I mean, check this out. There is transparency 28. Not everything can be publicly disclosed because so much ties back to foreign heads of state. Much will be revealed. We want transparency, but not at a cost we can recover from. Amazing how things make sense once you're asked a question. That's the entire point of this operation. It's up to you all to collect, archive safely, and distribute in graphic that is in order with the crumb dumps. It will all make sense. Once it does, we look to you to spread and get the word out. That's what we're doing, Shady Grove. We're trying to do that. Timestamps will help you validate authenticity. Your president needs your help. He wants full transparency for the great people of this country. Everything is stated for a reason. God bless Patriots. Q. And one of the most significant ones right here, talking about, these other Q posts and some of these things, but it says ability to share, open, heat on who? Full transparency, D-class. Undiscovered facts emerge, which is what just happened, okay? Ability to move forward, Occam's razor, Shady. The simplest answer is the truth. These people are freaking corrupt, and the cover-up is worse than the crime, almost, Shady.
It always is.
It always is.
It absolutely always is.
And that's just some of them. The public should learn about that. The DOJ, FBI, plus other U.S. foreign assets have been actively working behind the scenes in one of the largest criminal investigations in modern-day history. D-class purpose, illuminate the truth. People, transparency is the only way forward. Controlled media, enemy of the people. Huh. I mean, look at these, Shady Groove. Wow. Those most left, Corsi, failed attempts to infiltrate Q. Corsi, attempt infiltrate Q. That's it's crazy, dude. Mueller, Corsi, plea deal. There are bad people who pretend to be good. Reread drops regarding warnings. Those most who left the White House did not have a choice. You remember Flynn left the White House. He did not have a choice.
No, he didn't have a choice. He was fired.
Fake news, fake MAGA. Transparency is the only way. Patriots united. That was interesting. We thought that might have been like, oh my God, Shady.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
about our server.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We believe in full transparency, hence the reason why we are here, hence the reason why the people are being updated. Emphasis on some things. The world is connected. Some things will irreparably harm our ability to advance. Wow. We can talk through code or we can act through transparency. The choice is yours. Wow, Shady. Truth and transparency is the only way forward, guys. I mean, you can go look them up yourself. Go to the QAG or whatever you want to do. Nothing can stop what is coming.news and look them up yourself. It's huge. These are Q proofs. And then the D class, that's Q proofs. FISA court, Q proofs. All the way up to the top, spy op post telling you exactly who did it, who was involved, how it happened, from bottom to top. They thought she would never lose. We have that information since 2018, guys. Since before Sean Hannity. Since before John Solomon. Since before all of these people.
So whenever I first started to talk to public, my statement was that truth and transparency in government is the only path to real freedom.
Yep.
We understand that. That's a very, very big statement because it doesn't exist. Truth and transparency in government is the only path to real freedom. This is what your founders were trying to tell you. If you go back and you read Federalist Papers, if you go back and you read Marbury, all the decisions that were made in all of these different things were being understood at a time whenever the country was being organized to realize that the only way to get truth and transparency in government is to free the people to be able to investigate the beast that rules over it. That was the idea. That's what they were trying to do. This is what Donald Trump is trying to re-engineer within all of us, guys. And the reason that we've had such a hard time over the last 250 years is because all of the deceit to obfuscate the truth prevents you from making the proper decisions. You end up making decisions based on fear as opposed to based on faith. That is our discrepancy. That is what I feel like Donald Trump is re-engineering to get us back to, guys. And what we're talking about, we're getting ready to move to, we've got a few more minutes here. We're getting ready to move to hour number 2 with Rumble Premium episode today is about the Federal Reserve. And the stuff we're going to read to you today about the Federal Reserve is stuff that 90% of you have not heard. You do not understand this. You do not understand the monopoly, and you do not understand how it was organized. And the reason that the Federal Reserve is more important than Pam Bondi, it's more important than Kash Patel, it's more important than anybody going to prison, it's more important than James Comey or any of these people getting outed, because it affects our pocketbook. And whenever I say affects our pocketbook, that means it affects Democrat pocketbooks, it affects Republican pocketbooks, it affects Libertarian pocketbooks, it affects atheist pocketbooks, and it affects religious people pocketbooks. Everybody's pocketbook is affected by the Federal Reserve, and its initiation and the way that it is run is set up specifically to steal from you anything that you don't notice isn't there. Therefore, we have spent 100 years selling America out to the highest bidder. And Donald Trump is reversing that, and we're going to show you a big insight today on how that all got started.
Yeah, BCQ, you need to take that Q out of your name if you think Corsi is a good man. Poussaint and Shady and others, I wasn't there, sat with the drunk motherfucker.
I was there.
He was drunk and he infiltrated our movement, okay? That's not a good, brilliant mind, brother.
He's a Mossad agent that was taking our inner communications from Discord to the feds.
Yeah.
He was literally taking the stuff that he had on people that were inside the Discord and showing the feds who was talking about this stuff and where they could go to listen in. So Jerome Corsi is a Mossad asset, Alex Jones minion moron.
Yeah. And no more Corsi. BC17Q, you need to change your name because you are not 17, as in Q. You didn't follow Q if you think Corsi's a good man. And we can agree to disagree. I don't care what you think about Corsi. I know what to think about. I have the facts.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not.
The digs we did.
He was writing books for the CIA for like 20 years, guys. Come on, stop it.
Yeah, exactly. He's a clown, right, Landa boy?
He's like Alex Jones light.
Press 40s, yeah, and he is Mossad. And press 47 if you think Jerome Corsi is a clown. Let's just see what happens here. Let's just see. There's my 47.
That was way too easy.
47. Yeah. All right. So in 1 minute, less than 1 minute, right? 50 seconds, you are going to see a link come up saying join Rumble Premium. If you're not already Rumble Premium, you're going to want to see it. We didn't get to it last week. This is how the true story of your Federal Reserve, the one that you don't know about unless you've been following this show, of course, but we're going further and deeper into it. And then we might, if we have time, we'll get into the Spring family which is also Rothschild, just so you know.
Yeah. Let me read this. You are advised to get a good grip on your armchair because you're about to see in print for the first time information about the Federal Reserve that has never seen the light of day.
That's right. And BCQ, I'm sorry for being so harsh on you, but I don't want to agree with that at all. And sometimes agreeing to disagree when you have facts, feelings and facts are different. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.
All right, give me a second.